then there's the Warriors, okay? And honest to God, this is going to come down to a Game 7. I really do believe this. I like the Rockets. I think they're good. I think they're fun to watch. They're young. They're very well coached, even though their coach is a complete disgusting pig, when we all know what he's done. Yeah. Nevertheless, they're just a great all-around team. They have a great defensive team. They're young. They have a lot of youth. And they have a lot of star power around the court. It's just, who's going to take over? Is Green going to be the guy? Because Green's hot and cold. And Jimmy Buckets right now could be out maybe tonight. And if he's out tonight, this is a chance for Green to really prove himself and his worth. Because when Buckets is playing, he is shutting down Green. So, and I don't know how healthy Jimmy Buckets is, and Jimmy Butler, whatever you want to call him, Jimmy B or whatever. The fact is, without Jimmy Butler, even though they won, Steph Curry had an unbelievable game in game number 3, and they won that game. I don't know if this team is anywhere close to what they should be with Jimmy Buckets in the lineup and Steph Curry taking over just by himself. I think they need Jimmy Butler if they're going to win this series because of the youth and the talent and the way this team plays. They're hard-nosed, just like the Detroit Pistons. They like to bash the boards, and Golden State is not a big team. They haven't been a big team for a very long time. Their bigs are really Draymond Green, who's 6'8", and who's the other guy that they...
And then Looney, who's like 35 years old.
Looney, who's 35 years old. He's ancient in NBA. So, in the NBA. So, I don't know if I trust without Jimmy Butler that they're going to win this series, but Steph Curry is putting on just an onslaught of shooting and what he does so well on a basketball court. He's fun to watch. I'm not taking shots at Steph Curry. I give him his due when I know how good and how talented he is. He's special. But he's not going to be able to do this himself. He never could do it himself when Thompson wasn't 100% healthy or Kevin Durant wasn't 100% healthy. He needs another guy. And if they expect to win a title or make a run all the way to the finals and be able to compete against the Celtics in the East or even the Cavaliers or maybe even the Knicks, you're going to need Jimmy Butler. So this is going to be a problem if Jimmy Butler is not 100% healthy. You need him at least 90% healthy. If he's playing at 75, 70%, we've seen Jimmy Butler. When he went down with Miami, they were not the same Miami Heat team. I would say the same about Golden State.
Absolutely, because even if they do win this series too, and it's a more physical series against a tough Rockets team, the next round against Minnesota, or if the Lakers do come back, those are going to be tough matchups. Minnesota with their defense and Anthony Edwards that can shoot, and then the Lakers with the star power that they have. And then in this matchup too, when you look at the Warriors' backcourt defense, it loses a lot losing Jimmy Butler. Like, they don't even have great defensive backups besides that to even help against those guards that they have. Now, Green has struggled in certain games, yes, but he also had 33 in game two, so you can't be bad forever. And they still have Dylan Brooks. They still got Van Vliet. They got other guys that can score, too. So, yeah, it's going to be very tough. And then on the Rockets end, can Jalen Green actually step up against this defense? Because he has 2 single-digit games in this series, which is not good either.
Joba, I know you're a Steph Curry fan, obviously. And I know one of your best pals, Owen, who's not going to be joining us probably until later of the show. What do you think? What do you think Golden State is going to have to do? What is Steph Curry going to have to do if Jimmy Buckets does not return tonight and might be out a significant amount of time for the rest of this series?
Well, it said he's going to return. Steph Curry is going to be Steph Curry. He's averaging 29 right now. And he was only 3 for 10 in the first half. So, he can turn it on at any point. I think Draymond needs to be Draymond. I mean, the energy, literally when they didn't call the foul and he literally chased directly after the ref and got his technical. But that's who he is. He's authentically himself, whether you like him or not. And he plays a huge role. I think he's going to have to take a bigger step if Jimmy Butler doesn't come back. But I'll take a 75% Jimmy Butler any day of the week and just to have that, because they don't know how healthy he is truly. I mean, we'll see it once he gets on the court and how he moves and, how aggressive he is playing defense and attacking the basket. But I think Steph be Steph and Jimmy give whatever he can and Draymond be Draymond. And they've got other guys that, can contribute too. So I think if they get somebody out of the realm of the normal contributors, I think they'll be fine. And
They
they'll
need
move
Buddy
on.
Hield to step up. He needs to be another guy.
Man, he
that
couldn't
can-
hit the broadside of a barn.
Right now he can't, but he's still a good shooter. We've seen what Buddy Hield could do when he gets hot.
He had so many turnovers.
Yeah, and Jonathan Kuminga, who I love. I've always loved Jonathan Kuminga, and there was a lot of thought that Steve Kerr over the last couple of years and Jonathan Kuminga did not get along in the locker room, but they kept him. And Jonathan Kuminga could play a big part if they need that secondary scoring. The guy can score. He can get into the paint. He has a pretty good, 17-foot jumper. They need more from Jonathan Kuminga and stop putting pressure on Steph Curry and his knees because that could put him in harm's way. So I do believe they need more from that secondary scoring, especially if Jimmy Butler does play and he's a decoy, because that's what he is. You're not going to expect him to step up when he's not 100%. He's probably not even 75%. He's just going to play because you're going to demand some kind of double team on him at certain parts of the game, especially when he gets into the paint, and that's his strength. He draws double teams where he could push it out to the point and get it to Steph Curry or maybe even Jonathan Kuminga or one of those guys. So they're going to need more secondary scoring, and their bench needs to play a lot better if they expect to beat this young Rockets team.